Hello folks, and I'm sure you are curious for an update on the Schecter omen body. It might not have came out too well in the raw wood format. Um, well, at least in the pics that I initially took, but I didn't actually show it off, I don't think. I believe I just showed you the body already dyed. I did ultimately decide I'm using my minwax wipe-on poly for the sealing coat, and here is the body. I've done 4 coats, top, side, and back. And you're going to see all the flaws and the little groove marks, but again, this is going to be character and not necessarily for perfection. So not necessarily a relic, but just give you a good idea how the dye, again, as you see here, the dye brings out the wood grain, and you can see all the good and bad little flaws in it. And you can also now see more here where I cut the heel out that was sticking out right there, and how there's a more pronounced curve there, as well as you can see where the third piece in the body is. Here's again another part where I've curled it out, and again just enough that you can see the grain. Again, you can see all the flaws, but again, as you show here with the light where it is, you can also as well see more of the details in the body. Again, the actual timber coming out. And again, you can't see the grain that well in some spots, just because of the light on the camera, but in some ways you can. So if my sound sounds like it's coming in and out, it's because I'm actually using the Logitech's onboard mic, just for that, give myself a break from wearing the headphones for a bit. So anyways, that said, yes, it looks rough in the horns, but at the same time, just going to give it some character. So I suppose people, well, let's see if I can get the, no, I can't get the grain, but you can really see the, oh, actually there you can see it a little bit there. You can see where the grain figuring is actually coming out there. So now, again, I know you have seen it, that it was all black, but I decided to make a change on the top. Here's the surprise. Yep, I gave it a kind of two-tone burst effect. Basically, all I did was, once the dye was dry, I took some wire mesh or steel wool and just slowly, carefully started sanding it back until I got a decent teardrop kind of face, or teardrop-esque kind of look on it. It's not totally perfect, but again, I highly doubt this guitar is going to sell. Unless someone wants to buy it from me, then hey. So again, here we can see where the horn is now more pronounced. You can see my nice little ding here in the top of the horn. Again, highlights of the actual grain come through because of the sanding it properly and not filling it in. As you can see here, as the camera focuses more as I move slowly across the top here. And basically, what it comes down to is this is a lot like how the Gibson J series sub $1,000 guitars came out and looks. Again, you can see the figure in the basswood. Again, don't let people tell you that basswood isn't a nice looking wood. It really, if you can find the right pieces, here's again, sorry, over here you can see again the one piece. The other piece over here is very kind of out. You can see here along the top, right there, there's some figure coming out, popping out more. The problem with, I guess, the light source. Here you can see where I've got a little mishap with the sander I had. It kind of went zip, so it's showing through. But again, as you can kind of see in some light, when I reflect it the right way, there you can see some of the grain pattern happening there. And again, I've left the actual neck pocket intact as best as possible. Everything will again, on the right angle, you can see the grain pop through. And again, I know I'm saying again over and over and over, but you can actually see the little lines of the wood and so forth coming through. You can see it a little bit there, but not as predominant as otherwise. But overall, I don't know if I'm going to do a 5th coat or not, but that's how it looks, and that's how it's going to look. And pretty much, well, I'll do the, I forgot to do the sides here. Sides again are also rough, but you get a generalized idea. You know, how doing an unfilled finish on a body looks like in general. Can show all your flaws, so that's why it's very, 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 very important to, if you're going to try for a perfectly flat surface coming out, to sand until the finest sanding, finest grit of sanding you can do to your wood. Again, another little flaw here, but again, it's the bad omen. So it should have flaws. So with that said, now I will end the video. Hope yous liked it, and the neck is getting done again, and hopefully then I should have everything ready to be bolted up. Catch you later, folks.